Hi, I'm Morgan Frost. I decided to interview my mom. So this is Nursing with Stephanie Lemoyne. So up on the agenda is the big move, which is going to describe if there's a difference between nursing communication across the country. And then next is type of people you communicate with. After that is going to be issues with communication in the workplace. And then finally, we're going to have suggestions for handling situations and developing communication skills. The purpose of this is to show students that being a nurse takes a lot of patience, but it can be very rewarding. So this is the big move. So as you can tell, we moved from Michigan all the way to Alabama. So first off, in Michigan, it was a small town. And then in Alabama, it's a big city, which is Mobile. And so is the environment different? She said that the environment is a lot more fast paced and there's a lot more serious injuries, but the communication, the only thing that's different is it's a lot more hostile because it's very fast paced and everyone's moving very quick and they're just blunt because they want to get done because it takes a lot more time. So next is going to be type of people you communicate with. So first off, it's going to be patients. You have to communicate with them a lot because you have to like either tell them their results or they have to communicate with you with how they're feeling. And then coworkers, that's more of like a relaying message back and forth and communicating about your patients. And then doctors, you're just going to basically be relaying messages to them about your patients, and then they're going to tell you stuff. There's going to be more than that, but that's like the majority of when you're going to talk to the doctors. So after that is issues with communication in the workplace. Some examples are, so when you're working on elderly patients, some of them can't hear, so it's very difficult to communicate with them because you're basically just yelling the whole time. After that is hard news. People are getting a lot of hard news, so it's very sad for them. So they can be very distraught, and it's sometimes hard to talk to someone that's very distraught. After that is like the hard news, it's difficult parents. So when you have children in the ICU, which is where my mom's working, she's working in the ICU and trauma unit. So when you have parents in there for their children, they're very distraught because that normally means that their child's very sick. So they're kind of hard to communicate with because their child's everything to them. After that is grieving. People that are grieving are very hard to communicate with, just like the hard news. They're very distraught, so you can barely tell them anything because they're very sad sometimes. And then after that is language barriers. Some people are foreign and they don't speak any English. So she'll have to call an interpreter and then they'll have to talk through a third party. So she'll tell the interpreter and then they'll tell the patient and then it'll just keep going back. So it's very difficult to communicate through a third party. And then finally, we have suggestions for handling and developing communication skills. So first off, you have to really connect with your patients. Once you're connected with your patients, they'll tell you more information instead of being shy and not wanting to talk to you. And then next off is be patient with your patients and fully actually listen to them. If you're actually listening to them, you can miss something small, whether it's that their feet are tingly. A small thing can make a very big difference with your medical health. And then finally, being attentive. Things can switch very fast in the hospital. So you have to be very attentive to your patients because something could happen to anyone very fast. So you want to get to them very fast. All right. Thank you so much.